And author Amy Fish has a new book. It's called I Wanted Fries With That, How to Ask for What You Want and Get What You Need. Joining us right now, Amy Fish. Hello, Amy.
Hi.
Good to see you here. You're also an ombudsperson with the Concordia University in Montreal. You've got a full slate. Busy. Let's talk about this book, okay? So why did you decide to write I Wanted Fries With That?
I think that a lot of people don't complain because they don't know how. And I wrote this book as a guide for people who want to find their voice. They want to speak up against injustice, but they're just not sure where to start.
Now, is there a particular instance in your life where you noticed that people weren't complaining correctly?
The first time is in the book. It's when I was 14 years old, and my friend ordered fries in the restaurant, and they never came. And we waited and waited and waited like a bunch of 14-year-olds until finally she said, "I'm not sure if they heard me." And ever since then, I thought sometimes people use their voices and they just don't get heard.
So it's effective complaining then?
That's correct.
Basically. Now, you speak to different groups as well about the art of complaining effectively?
I do, and I give them tips from how to keep copies and keep records of everybody you spoke to how to remain calm so that your complaint will be well heard.
Okay. So what is one of the complaints? What do people commonly ask for? Maybe give us one example.
People complain that they want to return something and they lost the receipt, and they want to know, do they have a right to still return it, or do they have to just suffer because some of the paperwork is missing? And I say to people, you always have to try. If you keep quiet, you may never be able to return this item, let's say.
What would be a reason why people wouldn't complain, maybe not go back to the store? The anxiety, the fear of being said no to, perhaps?
All of the above. Anxiety, people don't want to look stupid, or people want to be liked. And I believe there's a way to complain and still be nice.
There really is. Well, if you smile and you're polite about it, perhaps you'll get your way.
I agree.
What's another interesting question an audience member in one of these groups that you speak to ask for? Like, how do I fix this?
Sometimes people ask about municipal issues, a truck that's parked the wrong way or debris left on the street. And I say to them, instead of tweeting about it or Instagramming about it, you got to pick up the phone and call the person who is responsible so that you can affect actual change. Okay,
so go directly to the source.
Yes.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Okay. Your book also shows that different situations require different communication approaches. So give us some examples of two different styles of communicating with a couple of different situations.
In one of the situations, and I wanted fries with that, my husband wanted to do this 5K race and it was sold out. And so how did I get a penny for him so he could do the race when it was sold out? I went and I asked tons and tons of questions. So how many people run this race? And how do you know when it's sold out? And how could we get on the list? And so I asked so many questions that finally they just handed me a penny and said, go on your way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess you need to be more of an extrovert, though, to be an effective complainer, would you say?
I think there's room for everybody as long as you're ready to practice and you're willing to think about your strategy and come at it a few different ways.
Okay. I also mentioned that you are also an ombudsperson.
That's correct.
What does that job entail?
That job entails promoting fairness. So at Concordia University, I'm responsible for promoting fairness at the university, making sure that everyone's voice is heard and everyone's treated fairly.
That's a pretty hefty gig you've got there. Yeah, not always easy, right? So how does it sharpen your experience in effective complaining when you have a job like this?
I think that helping people analyze and solve their problems and writing about them and having time to think about them, both sides complement each other and both give me a chance to think things through in a bunch of different ways.
Okay, I read that this book, your book, I Wanted Fries With That, is going to help even the shyest wallflower get their way. Lots of effective tips in there, tools?
Yeah, 27 different chapters. Each one has an example and a tip.
Okay. Also on your website, this is kind of fun as well, there's a quiz. And the quiz is, are you a good complainer?
Absolutely. Check out Amy Fish Writes and rate your complaining style.
Okay, so I guess the end result in that is to see if you're strong enough to get out there, perhaps, or it gives you tips along the way while you're taking this quiz?
You know what, Dylan? I think all of us are strong enough. Even if we're not perfect, my #1 lesson is you have to try. Because if you speak up, you might get lucky and you might create change. But if you stay quiet, nothing's ever going to change.
That's right. You also have author nights and meet the author events.
I do, and that's where I give people a chance to ask me questions where they might need advice about topics or they might want to know more about the book.
One of the testimonials about this book, laugh out loud funny. It's got to feel good, though, when you get this book out and people are reading it and responding in the right way.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Amy Fish.
Thank you.
We're going to complain more effectively from now on in. Okay. AmyFishWrites.com.